This is a video to teach you how to play chess. I'm going to try to keep this video to like 5 minutes, and that way people won't have to sit for an hour and listen to me talk learning how to play chess. So I'm going to do a lot of these videos. Chess is kind of a complicated game, and it takes quite a while to learn it, and also it takes quite a while to get real good at it. The more you play, the better you will get. Just like anything else, playing golf, or playing pool, or fishing. Good golf players play golf every day. And good pool players play pool every day. Good fishermen fish every day. If you lay off a couple of days, you lose your edge. And that's true with playing chess too. Now, first thing you need to know about is how to set the pieces up, and also what the pieces are named. The board is 64 squares. It's got 8 in this direction and 8 in this direction. So 8 eighths are 64. The pieces, the king is the most important piece on the board. It's not a very powerful piece, but it's the most important piece on the board. The way you win at a game of chess is either the other player resigns, and when they resign, they turn their king over. That's typically how it's done. Or the king is put into checkmate. Checkmate is where the king has nowhere to move to without being captured. The king is never really captured. The king is just put in a position where it's impossible for him to move any place without being captured, even though he's never captured. And then in that case, it's what colleagues put in checkmate. If you threaten the king with a piece, for example, if you jump this pawn out here and threaten that king, that's called putting the king in check. But when you put the king in a position where the king cannot move at all without possibly being captured or without being captured, then that's called checkmate. Now let me go through what the pieces are called and a little bit about the history of the game of chess. Chess has been played for thousands of years, and it's kind of like when the older days when they had kings and queens in Europe and throughout the world, of course. You had the king, and you had the queen, and you had bishops. These are bishops. And you had knights. And you had castles. Castles, of course, is the towers that's set on each edge of the fortress. And men could get up here and shoot arrows out of these little holes or throw rocks or whatever to protect the fortress or the castle if it was under siege. So once again, these are castles. And you have 2 of them, and they go right on the end. You have a queen. The queen goes right in the middle, and the queen is always sits on collar. And when you set up the chessboard, on your right-hand square is always a white square. You can see that's a white square, that's a black square. Chessboard is set up, like I said, at 64 squares, and they alternate white square, black square, white square, black square. Now on the diagonals, you go straight down this diagonal, you'll have all black squares. Straight down that diagonal, you'll have all white squares. So, these are bishops. You've got 2 bishops. And the king sits right beside the queen. The other pieces which guard the king and the queen, they sit out on each side of the king and queen. And once again, your knights are back here, and we all know from history what knights are. They're guys who ride on horses that fight for the kingdom, for the king and queen. Bishops, of course, are members of the royal court, and they stay inside the fortress with the king and queen, and they have a certain amount of power. And castles, I've already told you, they sit on each corner of the fortress. Now the pawns are the foot soldiers. And as you can see, each side has 8 pawns. 8 pawns there, 8 pawns here. Also, each opposing side has the same number of pieces. And if you look, the queens sit directly across from each other. The kings sit directly across from each other. The bishops sit directly across from each other. And the knights, of course, sit directly across from each other, as do the castles. So, we're about coming up on 5 minutes here. I don't want these videos to be too long because I personally, myself, don't like to sit and watch a 20 or 30 minute video. Short videos are okay, but the longer you talk, the more impatient people become. So I like to do short videos, and I like to watch short videos. So just to recap here, this is the battlefield, or the playing field, if you will. And the purpose is to win the game, to put the king in checkmate, or to get the opposing king to resign. I'm going to run through it once again so that you understand what the pieces are called. These are called pawns. They're like foot soldiers. They're the least powerful piece on the board. These are castles. Each side has 2 castles. These are knights. Each side has 2 knights. These are bishops. Each side has 2 bishops. This is the queen, the most powerful position on the board, most powerful piece on the board as far as how she can move and what can be captured. Each side has 1 queen. And this is the king. You might say that he is the most important position most important piece on the board. But he does not have a large range in which he can capture like the queen does. The king can only move 1 square at a time in any direction. So, that ends this first video, and I'm going to make a lot of these videos about how to play chess. So this is just the first one. The next video we'll get into how the pieces move. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.